Awesome Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Woo! Isn't this the most fantastic day Spirit could have ever given us? 6 weeks ago we were here and it was about 93 degrees at this time in the morning. We were a little worried. So we are so blessed to have this beautiful day, the break in the heat and everything. So thank you all for being here. Isn't this exciting? Before we begin, I want to do a little acknowledgement. First off, if I can get the relocation committee to stand, I want to give a round of applause to these beautiful beloveds. It's Fran Peterson, Justin Vogel, Sheila Callum, and Francine Jasper. Thank you so much. The lion's share of the work of getting this building, purchasing this building, getting it ready, finding the contractors, these 4 people have done that for us, and we are just so blessed to have that. And this morning, I was presented with the deed. Kelly Marshall, make sure you get this. I also want to thank some very special guests that are here with us today. First off, we have the 3 ministers that have kept this place running for the last couple of years before I arrived. I want to thank Reverend Colleen Tanaka, Reverend Claire Summerhill, and Reverend Richard Walter. And we have a few special guests that have shown up from near and far. First off, we have from the the Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living, Reverend Cheryl Bell and Reverend Stacy Hilton, who are here with us today. Thank you so much for being here. And Reverend Colleen and I have a very dear friend who has traveled all the way from Sydney, Australia. I think it just happened to coincide that this was the day, but Reverend Robin Holt is here with us today from Sydney. And I want to thank our 2 amazing men here that have set everything up, got everything together, and brought us to this. Joe Blom and Justin Vogel, and of course Roxanne Blom also here with us today. So thank you so much. And a special acknowledgement to our beautiful florist who has created the flowers for our altar. She is currently in floral school and is willing to take orders if you need flowers for anything. Kaylee Marshall, thank you. I hope you all got a stone and a pin when you came in. If you did not, please raise your hand and we'll get you one. So Debbie, would you get that for us? Okay, great, thank you. We're gonna do a little ritual with those in a few moments. Debbie, there's a couple back over here also. You know, there has been a lot of hearts and hands that have gone into bringing this into fruition, and I just want to acknowledge all of you who are here, who have brought this to a special place. Recently, I met a very special minister who has a connection with the gentleman who is organizing the destruction of our building on Harmon for UNLV. And she met him through a mutual friend, and she was telling him about this. Used to be her church many years ago. And so he said, oh, okay. And then a couple weeks later, he called her up and said, I have something for you. So this is the welcome sign from our old building. Reverend Charlotte Parker has made that connection and is joining us and going to be working with our center in the near future. So we're so thrilled to have her. There's another little surprise that's coming, which if I can say it without bawling, I'll be really good. After he presented her with the welcome sign, a couple weeks later, he called her up and said, I have something else for you. And he gave her the cornerstone. So we will be creating a special altar to put the cornerstone when the building is more closely completed. So thank you, Reverend Charlotte, for everything that it took to get that and the consciousness that brought it to us. So we are so grateful. All right, so I'd like to, at this time, invite up Reverend Richard Walter to do our invocation. So if you would, just go ahead and get your seats and bring up Reverend Richard.
One of the things that people of my age do is tell you how long they've been around. It was April 1967 that I walked. Can you hear me? Okay.
You gotta be right in the mic.
Okay, it'll work better this way. I was saying old folks tell you how long they've been around. It was April 1967, that's 55 years ago, that I walked through the doors of what then was the Las Vegas Church of Religious Science, which all of us know is the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and have been connected with it, and as a member since 1 year later. So my roots run deep into this center, and I feel so honored to be asked to do the invocation at this blessing service. It seems fitting to me that as we dedicate this property, this building, for the further exploration and experience of our vision and our purpose, that we go back to our roots, which is the center, which is the Declaration of Principles created by Dr. Ernest Holmes back in 1920s to define the tenets of our belief, of our teaching, of our theology. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one absolute, indestructible, and self-existent cause. And this one manifests itself in and through all creation. The manifest universe is the body of God, is a logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the incarnation of Spirit within everyone, and that every person is an individualization of the one Spirit. We believe that the universal Spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are indwelled and surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of illness and in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. And therefore, in this moment, in this collective setting, as we come together to honor the fulfillment of God's purpose in and through the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, in this building that will become our sanctuary, our classrooms, our office. We recognize in this moment, by using the creative power of mind, that we are affirming that every single aspect of the planning and the construction flows magnificently, in good timing, in divine order. Every individual who's been a part of this process or will be a part of it is divinely guided by God's presence in and through them to do what they do expertly, efficiently, and beautifully and professionally, so that when, for years to come, people enter this sanctuary, they know that they are enveloped in God's love and God's Spirit. And yet we know and affirm in this moment that this is but another stepping stone on the pathway of this center. We look forward to, as has happened several times in the past, outgrowing the size of the sanctuary and needing more space. So who knows? Got a couple other buildings here we can utilize. So Spirit, thank you. I affirm in this moment, on behalf of every single person here and everyone who is a part of this Center for Spiritual Living. We meet here in joy, in the fulfillment of our vision and our purpose, and we do with absolute joy, confidence, and love. Bless this building, this property, for the greater expression of God's love operating within us and through us. This is what we do right now. I am accepting this. I am affirming it on behalf of all of us. And therefore, knowing that I allow these words to be placed on the altar of faith and be operated upon by the law of mind in action, I therefore can joyously affirm that it is in action beautifully here and now. So it is, so we let it be.
For this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Come on now. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. My friends, thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friends. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. This wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. This wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. This space. Thank you for this space, Spirit. Thank you for this space. Thank you for this space, Spirit. Thank you for this space. This wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 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 space.
Thank you, Reverend Richard, and thank you, Justin, and thank all of you. Oh, well. That's what it is. You know, one of our core tenets here in Centers for Spiritual Living is the idea of inclusivity. And we are dedicated to not only being inclusive, but to learning about the ways that we have not been inclusive, and then taking action to correct those. And one of the groups that has been most often overlooked are the indigenous people that were here before any of the rest of us ever walked on this continent. And so it has become a tradition in many places to do a land blessing, to actually bless the ancestors who stewarded this land before we ever got here. And so to do our land blessing today, I'm going to invite up Reverend Claire Summerhill to honor the people that came before us. Reverend Claire.
We, the people of Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, acknowledge and honor the indigenous communities of this region and recognize that this building is situated on the traditional homelands of the Nuwuvi Southern Paiute people of the Moapa Band of Paiutes. We offer gratitude for the land itself, for those who have stewarded for generations, and for the opportunity we now have to worship and be in community with this land. Today, we acknowledge and honor all those who have come before us.
So a lot of people have come before us. A lot of people in this community have come before us and have preceded us to the next experience of life. And so I just want to take a moment and think about some of the people. I'm not going to try to list all the names because I would know I would miss somebody, but there have been people that are so instrumental in bringing us to this point. And so I just want you to take a moment and just bring to mind anyone that you know of who is not here with us today to share in this blessing of our building, and just acknowledge them in our hearts and minds right now, because it took an incredible village to bring us to this moment. So as many of you know, I like rituals. I really get into rituals. I really like to do the different things with it. And one of the rituals that I've discovered in the last 4 or 5 years is called a white stone ritual. And the origins of this come from the book of Revelations. In the book of Revelations, Jesus is reported as saying that God will write your new name on a white stone. This new name is God's high idea of who and what we are. It is the high idea of what is being birthed through us. And so when you arrived here today, you were given a white stone and a pen to write on. And so I'm going to invite Reverend Colleen Tanaka up here to lead us through a little bit of a contemplation and see what new name is wanting to be birthed through you here. So Reverend Colleen.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so blessed to be here today and grateful for my opportunity to serve this community since I came here in the fall of 1990. So I've been here for, listen kids, I was in my 20s when I came here. I just had my 60th birthday this week. So it's my honor to serve this community, and it's my honor to be present as we stand on the threshold of a new beginning. So I'd like you to take your stone, and if you would, on one side of the stone, please write your name. And once you've written your name, I invite you to turn the stone over so that the blank side is facing you. And just hold it gently in your hands. And you may focus your attention on it if you choose, or you're welcome to close your eyes. But I just invite you to go within and sense and feel the glory of this moment, the glory and the infinite possibility that lies before us, as it truly does in each and every moment. So we've gathered together today to open ourselves up to the next incarnation of our beloved Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. So I invite you to just sit in the silence together and ask the spirit within you, Spirit, what is the high idea for this center that is being revealed to me in this moment? Maybe a word or a short phrase. Just listen, and when something is revealed to you, please write it on your stone. What we know is that the highest path forward for our center and for each and every one of us individually is to live from the inside out, to listen deeply to the infinite indwelling presence within each of us and allow that to guide us. So in this moment, I'm claiming that for each one of us individually and for our center. And out of the silence here this morning, Spirit has revealed a high idea through you. And it's such a beautiful, glorious idea that Reverend Laura had, that we will place these stones in the foundation of this center to lift us all up. And I do want to take a moment to acknowledge one person. Yesterday, we had a celebration of life service for our beloved practitioner emeritus, Gladys Ann Hudson. And I wrote Gladys's name on a stone here. She also came to the center in the fall of 1990, which is when I met her. When I was thinking about Gladys this morning and Spirit revealed to me to write her name on a stone, the word that came through was love, which she demonstrated and is such a high idea and another name for God. So I just want to acknowledge Gladys, knowing that she and Hoot Peterson and Jim Hodge and others that have been in this community for so long and served us so well. So thank you all very much, Reverend Laura.
So up here we have a basket, and we'd like you to place your stone in the basket. So I'm going to invite you to come up and just, as you can, come on up and place your stone in the basket while we listen to this song from Justin. You can sing with him too.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that I have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
And so would you join with me as we just say a simple blessing over all of these new names for our Center for Spiritual Living that have been revealed through each and every person here. I know that the true spirit of the divine is flowing through each and every one of us, and it is manifesting itself in this new glorious creation that we are calling the new Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. I know that this manifests itself right here and right now, faster and easier than it has ever happened before in the history of any building in Las Vegas. Because we are anxious to be in here. And so I just give great thanks. I just rejoice. I'm so overwhelmed with the love and the support that is happening right through this community. And I just let this go right now. Knowing it is done, I let it be. And so it is. And so, as Reverend Colleen said, this is actually going to be placed in the foundation of this building. As you take a peek in the door after our service, if you'd like to, please don't go into the building very far. It's a construction zone, folks. It's just that what it is. But there's no floor. It's just gravel. And so these stones are going to be embedded in the floor that creates this new Center for Spiritual Living. Your consciousness is being embedded into it right here and right now. And we are so excited that this is happening. You know, we have a few special announcements that we're going to, announcements of fundraisers that we're going to be doing to help create this new and glorious place that we have here at Centers for Spiritual Living. The first one I am beyond excited about. So we have decided to create a labyrinth in the floor of our sanctuary. There is a company that takes the tiles that we choose. We send them the tiles. They laser cut it. They package it for us and with directions for a tile setter to put them together, and they send it back to us, and we will have an actual labyrinth that will be available throughout the week for anybody to come and walk and meditate and just be in that sacred space doing the sacred activity of walking a labyrinth. And so we are so excited about that. So please stay tuned for information about that coming up. And the other fundraiser that we are envisioning for our new space is, you'll see over here is the floor plan that our architect has developed for us. And on the right side of the building is our classrooms. We have 3 classrooms that are dedicated spaces for our youth. So we'll have a space for the little ones, the middle ones, and the older ones to actually grow and explore and to learn our principles and to see how their life unfolds through this beautiful philosophy that we have here at Centers for Spiritual Living. And so we are about outfitting those rooms. And so we will be creating a fundraiser to help you be a part of that also. And so there'll be some simple things from like buying books that we have from a list of books that we want to have in our rooms for each of our age groups, to buying some special furniture that we will need for that. You know, we have most of our furniture left over from our old center, but we need some new things and bright things and things that are specialized for children. So 2 fundraisers that will be starting in July. And just keep your eye out on our newsletter for that, and we will just know that those things absolutely benefit every single person that walks on these grounds. For truly, this is holy ground. So we're going to close. I promised I would keep it short today. Look at this, we're at 30 minutes here. As I put in my newsletter, there are no bathrooms here, folks, so. And, you know, once you hit that 60 mark, you know, things start to happen differently. So, not TMI, not necessarily, but no TMI here. But, you know, I understand these things. So we are going to sing the song that Justin Vogel wrote for our center long ago that has uplifted us for these last many years. And so I'm going to turn it over to Justin with Together We Rise.
Thank you, Reverend Laura. Thank you all so much for being here. It's a beautiful day indeed. Together we rise, my friends. Here we go. Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together, one in spirit, we rise, we rise. In times of struggle, we keep the Spirit of God within. Receptive to our calling, we love our neighbors and our friends. Relaxing in the knowing God's grace had never joyful hearts we sing. Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise. As we stay in gratitude, we let spirit lead the way. Listening to the still small voice, it's always there to say, trust in God with all your heart, the path ahead is clear. We unite together and there's nothing for us to fear. Let's go! Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise. Let me hear you now. Together we rise as the sun lights up the sky, opening our hearts to the spirit of love inside. Together we rise, God flows through you and I. Together one in spirit, we rise, we rise.
All right, for our closing today, we have long had a tradition here at Centers for Spiritual Living of doing something that's called a chamber prayer. Generally, a chamber prayer is done by the ministers and the practitioners of the center. However, this center is not just about the ministers and the practitioners, although the consciousness they bring to everything that we do here is phenomenal, and we couldn't do it without it. But this center is about everyone. This center is about everybody here. And so I'd like us all to join in a chamber prayer. Now, you are welcome to come and stand around the building. I just want to forewarn you that two sides of the building, the ground is only covered with landscaping rock. So please do not step on that if you are at all worried about falling, because trust me, I don't want to be on it. But all the way down this path here is a nice sidewalk, and then we have a sidewalk here in the front, or you are welcome to stay in your seat. And now, if you're not comfortable doing a spiritual mind treatment, that's okay too, because you guys just wrote affirmations on those rocks. And spiritual mind treatments is about affirmations primarily. It's about understanding the Spirit of God that is flowing through each one of us, that we are uniquely connected with it, and that it manifests itself through us. And so I'm going to invite all of us to join in this chamber of prayer. Now, in a chamber of prayer, you actually pray out loud, all at the same time. And it's kind of this cacophony of spiritual voices that are being uplifted and raised and acknowledged. And so I invite you now to just come and sit around us. The planning, the building, the furnishing, everything happens with ease and grace because it can be no other way. And so I just give great thanks for knowing this. I'm so grateful to feel this power. I'm so grateful to see it operating right here and right now. And I just release this word into the law, that creative mind that says abundant. Knowing it is perfect, I so grateful, so it is. This time, this place. And so if you would with me, let's just join in a collective. And so it is. Woo! If you would like to take a peek in our building, you're welcome to do that. If you would like to see the floor plan, you're welcome to do that. Please be very cautious of all of the equipment and stuff.
I'm walking through the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit.